Hi, you have tuned into The Right Point of View, where we discuss health, wellness, love, and all things in between. I am your wellness coach and host, Ms. Shondi Wright-Brown. Hey, today we got our girl Andrena. She's our favorite, and we have her joining us today, and we are excited about it. I wanted to share her with you guys because her energy is infectious. She is, when I'm watching her on social media, she gives it to me. You know, I'm reminded of making sure that I take care of myself. When she gets on and you hear, hey, it's your favorite Andrena, you're already starting to smile, and everything she says after that is amazing. So I wanted to be able to share her with you selflessly at this time. So I chose her to be one of the speakers for this particular series because we're talking about self-care and self-love. And, y'all, when I asked her, to join me, I felt like I get a yes because she is my friend, but she was already ready with the subject. And so I will let you know the subject, and then we're going to get right into it. I'm going to introduce her, and then we will get started. So when I asked her what she thought, she said, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right. So that gave it to me, and I'm ready for her to give it to you. But first, let me tell you about her professionally before we have our little girlfriend talk. She is a master coach. She's the CEO and founder of Keep Moving with Andrena. She is a dynamic master life strategist, transformation speaker, and published author. Keep Moving with Andrena is a movement to spread awareness by helping women become conscious of their purpose and develop life skills that will equip them to live a purposeful life. A purposeful life is what propels women to attain new heights, living boldly in their life journey. Andrena helps women by empowering, inspiring, and transforming them to rebuild and develop a blueprint so they can move from struggle to purpose, both in their personal, professional goals, without apologies, by going to the next level of living. Keep Moving with Andrena Keep Moving with Andrena. Andrena is using her coaching, workshop, and transformation speaking in different organizational projects, local and worldwide. Andrena is currently touring the States with her interactive workshop, She Winning. And this is not your ordinary workshop, you guys. This workshop will take you from ordinary to extraordinary. So we are about to get this conversation started, and we'll bring her on like I like to hear her. Hey, it's your favorite Andrena. Andrena.
Hey, it's your favorite Andrena.
I love it. How are you?
Hey, sister, I am great, Ms. Shondi. Great. Just another wonderful day. Just feeling blessed just to be amongst the living and all of that good stuff.
Yes, all that good stuff. I love it. So, guys, if you can't already tell, it's this energy that has made this my sister and my friend, and that all, of course, an expert in what it is that she discusses. So we, again, just to reiterate, we had a conversation, and I shared with Andrena what it was that I wanted to do. And she was on board, and like I said, her topic got me. I was ready. Like, I'm hosting, but I'm learning. I know I'm going to get something good from this, too. So I am so excited that you decided to join me for this Love Me movement. Thank you so much for your yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome. First of all, let me just say thank you. Thank you for picking me. Not only thank you for picking me, but thank you for choosing to share your platform with us. You know, some people are not bold enough or confident enough in their brands to, bring other people onto their platforms and to share their spotlight. So I do want to say thank you for picking me. Thank you for sharing your platform. And you know what? I'm proud of you just showing up in your own greatness and being aware and shifting lives as well.
Oh, thank you. We talked about this. You know how I feel about this, but I love women, and I believe that me showcasing you and all the other wonderful speakers over the course of this next few episodes has nothing to do with me. That I believe that if I am a candle and I have a light, that two candles side by side, if they touch, the light becomes brighter. It doesn't dim. So I believe that your light plus my light is a brighter light, a bigger light, a more bold light. And so I am pleased to be able to share my platform, my audience, my everything with my sisters. So you are more than welcome. So
that's good. That's real good, sis. Real good.
Oh, thank you. So we are going to get right into it. So the reason, you guys, if you're just tuning in, this is the first episode you're tuning into. We are smack dab in the middle of the week of Valentine's Day, right? And so although it's one day, this is the love month, people say. And a few years ago, the day after Valentine's Day was coined Single Awareness Day. It was the day, they called it Sad Day, and that's the day that people were aware that they were in situationships and not relationships. And on that day, there were regrets. There's a spike in the number of people who subscribe to Match.com and eHarmony and things like that, because that is the one day of the year that people realize that they're single. And so instead of co-signing on that negativity, I decided that I would create a space where, in the midst of social media brouhaha, that ladies can find words of encouragement, words of empowerment, and to know that they're not alone. So I selected these women because, number one, I watch them on social media and they inspire me, and I look up to them, and I know that someone listening to these broadcasts is going to feel loved and wanted, and they're going to be reminded to take care of themselves. So thank you guys so much for joining, and now we're going to give it to Andrena, because like I told you earlier, when she said, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right, I needed to hear all about that. So here, I haven't heard it yet, so this will be, my first time too, so you guys bear with me if you hear me scream or something. So Andrena, when I told you about the whole thing, when I told you the vision, you instantly came up with that, and because that's something you touch on anyway. So let's talk about that. What you mean by, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right?
Oh, just like the song, if loving me isn't right, I don't want to be wrong, by Luther Ingram. I think that's his name. I just put my twist to it, and the reason being is because a lot of times we get so caught up in loving other people greater than we love ourselves. And you cannot pour in love into others more than you pour into yourself. And even though I know that this is the love month and Valentine's and flowers and roses and candles, I don't want people to just get stuck on that one day. I want people to understand, especially women, the dynamics of loving yourself and understanding your worth and your value, and that you're a woman of substance. Whether it's Valentine's Day, Christmas, you are a woman of substance 365 days. That's the concept that I want them to get. And so when I came up with the twist of, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right, that means that if I love me enough to know that I'm a woman of worth, a woman of substance, and I bring value to the table, I don't need to settle for anything less.
That's good. That's good. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I agree. But so being a woman who has been there, and art imitates life, right? So the reason I was able to come up with this concept is because I was her. There was a time when I wasn't so sure of myself, and I would see things happening on social media, and at first I would feel happy for the person, and then there would be a brief sadness that would take over, and I would even question God, why me? Where are you? I was in a long-term relationship. I've been with my fellow for a long time, and I questioned my worth based on his actions or lack of actions, and so I was that woman, and I based the relationship, I based my singleness, I based my faith in God on whether or not that person got me a gift. But it was when I learned to love myself that those things didn't matter. So tell us, so if you have I know you've got some nuggets you want to share with us about, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right. So let's get into that. So what are your pointers for, like me, when I was that person? What would be the things that you would say to me right now? What are your pointers?
Well, to be honest with you, I think every woman goes through that phase in her life of heartbreak, of feeling some sort of insecurity and waiting for a man or materialistic things to validate who they are. And at the end of the day, that's being insecure in who you are as a woman. So you look for outside sources to really build you up. But the moment that you become aware of who you are, your worth, your purpose, and the substance that you bring, everything in your life will shift. You wouldn't have to wait until Valentine's Day to get flowers and candy. You wouldn't have to be in a relationship to understand the dynamics of who you are. You will already own that. You will walk in that. And so, I was a woman at one particular time for years that wasn't in a relationship. And so when Valentine's Day came, I still served me with flowers. If I had to buy my own flowers, if I had to take my own self out, I still gave my own self that type of love that I would get if I was in a relationship. And so, any single woman that I meet now that come across, I don't allow them to sit in that woe, it's me, pity party. I want to encourage them and empower them, to not only take the month of February, the month of love, or Valentine's Day, the only day to start loving themselves. I want them to love themselves 365 days of the year. I want them to understand that you can buy flowers and roses and perfume. You can take yourself out any time of the year, but it's not always about the outside. It's about you working that inside. And so the one nugget that I would give the woman that, is in that particular place, I would tell her, don't love anyone greater than you love yourself. And what I mean by don't love someone greater than yourself is pour into you the things that you will pour into somebody else. Pour those things into you first. Love and build and nourish your own self. Get to a place in your life, whether you're a single woman in a committed relationship, married, divorced, whatever status that you carry, get into loving her, the little girl that's inside of you, the little girl that yearns for someone to love them. Take care of her and nourish her, because you're no good filling up somebody else's cup and your cup is empty. So, you want to get to a place in your life that no matter whether you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship, I love me. I love the woman that I'm becoming. I am building her. I am pouring into her those things that I would want somebody else to pour into me. Whether somebody shows up or not, I'm going to love her regardless. And so that's what I would tell someone, a woman, pour into yourself first. The things that you desire in a relationship, get that relationship with you right first.
That is so good. So I'm sitting here, I'm like chomping at the bit, because you said so many things that I say 100%, that you guys, we're hoping that having these conversations now, that once you listen to us, that you challenge yourself to practice self-love every day, and what that means. And so, and another one thing you said that really sticks out is the little girl, speaking to that little girl. And I'll tell this story, and if you've heard this story before, just bear with me. But there was a moment when I turned 40 where I realized that the little girl and the woman I am becoming were separate, that I had been operating as a little girl for years, as a mother, as a wife, as an employee. I had that stuck in some arrested development. So I was stuck in that validation, that, don't leave me, mommy. The 5-year-old little girl, I can tell you how old she was. When you studied psychology and sociology, I could tell you she was 5. And she's a 5-year-old who says, don't leave me. So that means any man that came to me, there was a don't leave me. Don't abandon me. And Daddy, you say you're coming back. Are you coming back, really? I was stuck there. But I was walking around with this grown body. And so I was trying to get that little girl what she needed, but not aware that she was a little girl. Thought I was grown. You know how we do. I'm a strong black woman. Ladies, I'm here to tell you, if you got to announce who you are, you're not her. You should be apparent. And so I went around with my strong, huffing, puffing, strong black woman thing, but inside there was a little girl longing for something, and I sought those things in a marriage that I know now I should have never prayed to God for, in relationships that weren't good. But when I turned 40, there was this moment that I didn't even know was pivotal until I told someone else. And I was in the mirror, and I was brushing my teeth. And I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you. And then I said, I love you. And then I said, I am so proud of you. You wrote that book. You raised these beautiful babies. You are a director of nursing. You are leading your team. You have started an organization. You are doing so well. I am proud of you. And when I said that, I wept. Like the old-timey weeping in the Bible where my stomach was at my back and I was wailing like a wailing woman, because at that moment, I became the woman I needed. I became the love that I needed. At that moment, everything changed. And so when you said the little girl in us, that stuck out for me, because that's exactly, and we didn't talk about this, guy. She didn't know this story. That's exactly how I felt, that there was a little girl longing for things, and now she's different. Now she is, like our former First Lady says, becoming. Now she understands how important self-love and self-care are. So thank you for that. That's exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel.
You know, to piggyback off of that, anytime I work as a coach with personal development, and you can see that little girl in grown women every single day. And the little girl is the woman that's very insecure. The little girl is the woman that shows up, you know, she's jealous of the other woman. She wants all the attention. You know, she's demanding something because she's in that little girl mode. And that's a form of insecurity, because there's a difference when you are a little girl and a grown woman. A little girl don't know who she is. That little girl don't have no kind of confidence, no nothing, so she acts out in all different kind of ways, you know. And the grown woman, she understands her substance and her worth, so she acts totally different. And where you found out that little girl about you when you was in your 40s, I found that about that little girl with me on my wellness journey. I understood who I was, and that person, I used to be a heavy-set woman, and I never knew the reason why I couldn't lose the weight. And the reason why I couldn't lose the weight is because all the things that I used to pour into everybody else, I didn't pour into myself. And I remember one day I had got up, and I had looked in the mirror, and I remember the doctor had told me, you know, that, when you're a big plus woman, everybody tries to make excuses for you. Oh, you look pretty, you got a pretty face or whatever, but they really don't know. Don't get me wrong. So nothing's wrong with a curvy plus size woman. I think they are the most beautiful women in the world, but it's all behind that mask. I knew what my mask was, and that was me hiding some things that I didn't want to deal with on an emotional level. So food became my best friend, you know, because food don't talk back to you. Both of us are nurses. Well, you're actually a nurse. I'm a retired nurse now. But we know that, you know, food does the talking to the body. And I learned that on my wellness journey about my little girl. She was an insecure little girl, and she used food to cover up her hurt and the betrayal and the things that she didn't want to deal with, because she wanted to show up in the world, this bold woman, and, you know, I'm happy and I'm this and that, and really I wasn't. And so that's where I learned my little girl was when I was a plus-size woman and overweight and eating, you know, out of emotions, eating to cover hurt, eating to, not deal with some things that I didn't want to deal with. And so I learned it on my wellness journey, the emotions that was attached to it, the tantrums that I used to throw, you know, because I was insecure. And then I just got up one morning, and the doctor had told me that, you know, hey, Andrena, you know, you are, I think I was like 45, and I ain't mean to tell y'all my age, but get over it because I don't look it. But he told me, he got me with 2 words. He said, Andrena, he said, you're morbid obese, and nobody has never told me that. And he said, you are morbid obese. And when he said that to me, that just shocked me, because I'm like, you think that morbid obese is somebody that's 600 and 700 pounds. I wasn't that big, but I was big enough. And he got really clear with me, because he said a lot of times people carry their weight because of their emotions. And he said, you really got to get in tune and intact with what's going on with you. And that began my journey. And that's how I began to nourish the little girl that was in me, because I began to recognize that she was the one. We're looking for love in the wrong places when actually the love is within ourselves. So the things that we pour in other people, we have to learn to pour back into ourselves. And that's how my wellness journey began. And that's how I began to nurture the young girl and become the woman that I am now.
That is awesome. So first of all, you guys follow her. We'll get that information before we get off the call. She's fine. She looks good. So but I never knew that part of the story. And so I'm over here cheering. I'm trying to be quiet. I'm like, yes, because that is exactly right. I said to someone else that, you know, like she said, we're both nurses, and I'm a holistic wellness coach, and what I saw, I came on that journey another way, and I'll get to that in a second. But what I see is that whenever I try to tell someone how to better their health, it always becomes psychological. It is never, ever about the food itself. It's always about the way people see themselves and their relationship with food. So
absolutely,
actually what you said is exactly what I use every day in my practice. That we get down to, you know, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I'm posting pictures of me looking slim, but that's only to get you in, because once you start talking to me, we go down and figure out what the relationship with food is. And I'll say, for those who may not know, aside from being a holistic wellness coach, I am the founder of Don't Touch Me, and Don't Touch Me is to increase awareness of child molestation. And so over the past 7 years, I found that lots of people who said they have challenges with food have said, yes, I was molested, or there was some trauma, and that food became comforting. You know, food made you not as sexy, so maybe you won't get another assault. Or food, just like Andrena said, doesn't talk back or doesn't criticize, doesn't judge, you know. It releases those endorphins. You start to feel good, and you have little responsibility in your own self-love and self-care at that point, because the food has made you feel good. So that's so important. You know, I can, and I'm sure other people listening can relate, that we have made food our lover, because it's reliable. We order it, we cook it, we open it, we plate it, we can have it, and there are no no's in the food. There's no rejection and shame. So that's so good. Oh wow, that's so good. So you mentioned your wellness journey and you becoming the woman you are today. So on this week, while we are looking around, and it seems everybody, it's really on Facebook, it's not really as it seems, but on Facebook, it looks like everybody's getting engaged, or people are getting flowers early. I've seen it today. You know, people are choosing to up and get married, and all these things are happening. What would you tell someone listening? What could they do right now to start to practice self-love and self-care? What would you say?
I would tell them to basically start living. Every day that you are afforded the opportunity to get up, you can make a choice. It's like a blink of an eye. You can decide today or tomorrow when you get up, I'm going to change this throughout your day. You can change anything that you want to. You don't have to wait till holidays to change that. This is the thing that people get so caught up in, is that I got to wait until Valentine's Day to buy me flowers or go to a spa or treat myself. No, you don't. You can do that any day of the week that you want to. I would just encourage people to just get up and start living, because let me tell you something. One thing I have learned is life is like a blink of an eye. You here today and you gone tomorrow, but what are you going to do in between time? What are you going to do in between time? You mean to tell me you're going to stop living because somebody didn't buy you flowers? You're going to stop you're going to stop working in your purpose, walking in your purpose because somebody's not validating you? Get in the game called life. Everybody has their own lane that they have to drive. And driving that lane means, how do you see yourself? How do you want to be loved? Imagine your lover coming into your life, and you begin to treat yourself as the way that your lover should treat you. So when he does actually show up in your life, you already know what to tell him how to treat you, because those are the things that you already do for yourself. I always tell people, start living now. Live your life now. Live your life now to the fullest. Make a conscious decision. Be intentional about your living. Be on purpose. Just start living. Just start living.
That's good. Just start living. That's good. That is so good because we do. So we both mentioned that we're nurses and we are, that by default, we're codependent. So seeing somebody else's happiness, seeing somebody else well, seeing somebody else brings happiness. But she mentioned earlier, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to fill yourself. You have to do things. And you have to make a decision that you're going to teach somebody how to treat you. So when you take care of yourself, when you practice self-care and when you love yourself, that teaches the next person exactly what to do for you. That means a boss, that's friends, that's a lover, that's anybody. When someone sees that you genuinely love yourself and you practice things daily, it's always an ever-evolving journey to self-love. So you're always doing something, saying something where you're practicing self-love. How's somebody going to walk up to you and give you just anything? They won't be able to because they already see from a distance how much you love yourself. And ladies, I understand how it might not be as easy. I understand that when you first do it, it's not easy, but it is a requirement for life. It is a requirement for a good life that you love yourself. Everything else hinges upon that. You are a better mother. You are a better employee. You are a better wife. You are a better girlfriend. You are a better friend because you are full, and what you give to others will be from overflow, right? You taking your saucer and pouring it to other people, not your cup, right? You're giving from that. You're so full that even if you don't give, they can rub elbows with you and they're like, oh, I feel good because you're so full, like you're going to pop, And so when she said that, if you can't tell, I got excited because that's exactly right. That you have to find ways to just live, whatever that looks like to you, whether that's traveling, whether that's working out, which makes me feel amazing, whether that's affirmations. And let me pause right there. So I know a lot of people say do affirmations, but guys, if you know God, you can definitely say, whatever a man speaketh, so is he. So that means there is some power to affirmations. And even if you don't feel like it, like right after this broadcast, if you don't feel like it, just say, I am beautiful. Even if you don't believe it right away, if you say that thing 1, 2, 3, 4 times, it gets power. Because you have the power to change, just like she said. You have the power to change that situation. You have the power to live. So sometimes that thing that you're looking for somebody else to give you, give it to yourself. And when I tell you, can't nobody give it to you like you give it to you, nobody. When you can internally say, I'm good. Yes, I see those roses. Yes, I see that engagement, but I'm good. I'm trusting what God says for my life. And I am trusting me, and you don't let that little girl run into Walmart and go down the aisles and grab a candy. You know what I mean? Like some years ago, I've never shared this publicly, but some years ago, God gave me a vision, and the vision was clear. I heard clearly, don't go to the supermarket hungry. And so I said, well, God, I'm not going to the supermarket right now. What are you talking about? And so I just saw a vision of a woman with a shopping cart. And walking in the supermarket, everything reached out to her. And that, for me, translated to when you're hungry and desperate, everything looks good. But if you're full, if you already love yourself, if you already know your purpose, everything can't jump out at you and give you temporary feelings. Everything, you are more purposed in your decision. You make better decisions. So that just popped into my brain while we were having this conversation. So I hope that encourages someone to feel yourself, just live. And while you're living, I believe everything that you desire will be attracted to you. So that's my other little spiel off this amazing conversation. So, all right, so you're telling us to just live, and like I said, I'm watching you, and you are living. You're making sure you are taking care of your temple. You are doing it beautifully and gracefully. You're always happy, always smiling, and that's really inspirational. So I hope that someone decides to follow you, and I hope you all follow her, and so that you can see this journey unfolding, because it truly is a beautiful journey. So, all right, so we're going to go briefly back to if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right. So I don't know if I got a chance to let you get those points out, because I know you had some clear points about that. So would you like to share those now for the ladies about if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right?
That's cool. Just like we were saying earlier, and I also want to encourage the women, when you start seeing that, the roses, the flowers, or you start saying, because, sometimes we as women, we question, am I good enough? Is there somebody out there for me? I just want you all to remember 3 words whenever you start getting that, woe, it's me, or you start questioning who you are. I want you to just say to yourself, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. That means that it doesn't matter what you see. I am enough. That means I'm worthy. That means I'm valuable. That means that I am enough. And that is the 3 words where it stops at with you. And when you begin to say those 3 words, there is no question mark behind it. I am enough is a period. There is no more explaining. So I did want to encourage the women on that, to not allow themselves to get so caught up in, like, the pictures and all that, because, we never know. Even though you put the pictures up there, at the end of the day, we really don't know the relationship behind closed doors. We don't know really what's going on. But what we are concerned about is that you begin to just love yourself right where you're at. Love yourself right where you're at and build from there. And begin to mold yourself in the woman that you want to become. I remember when I was going through my changes in life, some things that we learn along the way is not good for us when we're going to the next level and the next level and the next level, and we're building ourselves up. And sometimes along your life journey, you have to unbecome in order to become the things that the woman that you want to become. And what I mean by that is that sometimes unbecoming means you have to get rid of the old friends, the old habits, the old mindset to become the woman that you want to be, and that is a new mindset, a new way of doing things, creating greater and better habits so that when you show up in the world, you show up as a woman with substance. You show up as a woman knowing her worth with no questions. I always tell my clients, you can tell the difference between a woman who is self-assured of herself and a woman who is not clear about who she is. Because a woman that's not clear of who she is, she's going to sit at any table. That means she's going to eat anything that anybody gives her. But you remember what your mama and your dad used to tell you, that you can't eat everybody's food? Now look at the difference with a woman that knows who she is. A woman who knows who she is, she's not going to sit down at every table. She's not going to eat with everybody. She's not going to taste everybody's food, because what they may be giving her is not good for her health. It's not good for her well-being. It's not good for her mindset. It's not good for where she's going. So that's the difference. So I just wanted to encourage the woman not only to realize I am enough and let it be a period with no question mark, but unbecome some of those old habits that's stopping you from becoming the woman that you need to become. And then the other thing is, stop sitting at everybody's table. Stop allowing just any and everyone to feed you mentally, physically, or emotionally. You can't eat everybody's food. And food doesn't necessarily mean the food that we eat. Food is what you hear. Food is the people that you be around. How are they influencing your life? How are they helping you to even build yourself up and to become this great woman? I don't want to surround myself with women that is still talking the same thing that they're talking 5 years ago. I don't want to surround myself with people that don't have goals and ambitions and not trying to go nowhere. I don't want to surround myself with people that are talking poison instead of building up. That's not who I am. So I can't no longer sit at those type of tables anymore. Because when you sit at those type of tables or sit amongst those people, you're not showing yourself love. You're really, truly not. Because if you love yourself, you're not going to feed yourself poison. That's hearing it, speaking it, and being around it. So those are some of the things that I would want to encourage the women. And another thing that I want women to understand is that you're not a perfect woman, so stop competing yourself with other women. Understand the value of who you are and what you bring and the purpose and the footsteps that you carry. Nobody can carry your footsteps. Nobody can get your purpose done. Nobody can get the mission that's called on your life. Everybody can't be an Andrena. Everybody can't be a Mashandi. We could only be who we are called to be, and then we can join each other. We can lock arms, and we can change the world and build each other that way. But in order for us to build the next woman up, we got to learn how to build her up. We got to take care of the little girl inside of us, and we got to become the woman that we want to become, not what somebody else has said. And those are some of the things I just always encourage the women that I know, and to own it. Own your journey and make no apologies about it. That includes your flaws and all. Own your journey. Own the mistakes and the lessons that you learned along the way. That is what helps you become that greater woman, is when you can say, hey, I've been there, I've done that, but listen, this is what I learned from it. Because those past mistakes, those past failures, and not those losses, but the lessons that you learned, is what is helping you become that greater woman, so that you can show up not only as a woman of substance, but a woman of worth. And so when you open up your mouth, you get that attention that you've been wanting from, because you loved yourself enough to build yourself up. You get what I'm saying?
I do. I told y'all she was going to bring it. I knew. I'm like sitting here going, wait a minute. I told you. Because as you are evolving as a woman, we haven't arrived, right? There's always left to learn. And so I'm listening, perched on my seat, listening to you, because there's always something to learn. And even if it's something that you know, ladies, it's a reminder. We are serving as a reminder for you to take care of yourself, for you to love yourself, and to be the love which you desire. Be the love which you desire. Whatever it is that you expect some dude to do for you, do it for yourself. It's just a different, and the attraction, the law of attraction says that the man who is ready with no games, got the word from God, he looks up to you just like you treat yourself. So unfortunately, if you don't love yourself, you will attract people who don't love you too. That's like Murphy's Law. You know, that what else would you attract? But when you are clear about what you want and who you want. Now, I'm not talking about 101 things that you won't tolerate from a guy. I'm not saying a list that comprehensive. But what I am saying is that when you know that I am not going to settle for anything, that I do not want a relationship just to have a warm body next to me, that I understand that I want to be loved by someone who respects me, loves me, honors my hustle, my grind, my whatever it is, and then we can be, like I said recently, if you caught my live, I said that, you know, back in the day, they told us, you know, the relationships are 50-50, and you are a man's better half. But I choose to believe that the math that says 1 times 1 is 1. That means one whole person multiplied by one whole other person is still a powerful one unit. And so that is what I choose to believe. So I'm not coming 50% for any relationship. I'm loving myself first and presenting myself as a whole woman before I even expect to be loved the way that it is that I desire. I'm checking myself. You know, this is a good time for self-reflection. You know, check myself and make sure that I am putting out the energy that I expect in return, right? That I am the partner that I'm requesting, that I'm going to God on. You know, God, I want a man that's X, Y, Z, but am I X, Y, Z, right? Do I want a man who's sure of himself, but am I sure of myself? You know, I want a man who's goal-oriented, but am I goal-oriented? You know, I want to make sure that I am whole in my relationship. You know what I mean? So I challenge women, again, you know, this is a time where, it can get a little tricky for some people, but it's a great time to start your self-reflection, self-love journey to carry on, like Andrena said, throughout the year. Not something that just happens this week, but something that goes on throughout the year, so that you can become to become, just like Andrena said. That was good to me. Unbecome who you were to become the woman you desire to be. So I love that. That's good to me. All right. So, everybody wants to know, we always talk about relationships. So I'm going to ask you, what is the best relationship advice you've ever received or that you could give out? So best relationship advice you've ever received.
The best relationship advice I receive is be yourself. Be your most authentic self. Don't show up as a representative, but be yourself. Truly be yourself. Respect yourself enough to show up as yourself. Yeah.
That's good.
Like show up as be your most authentic self, because you can only put on airs for so long. And you don't want, if you're building a foundation, it's just like when you're building a house. You don't want to build a house on rocky ground. You want to build that house on a solid foundation. So if you're going to show up in a relationship, be your most authentic self. Be vulnerable. Show up who you are. Show up who you are. You don't have to put on airs for anybody. This is who I am. This is who I am. You can either accept it or you don't have to accept it. A lot of times as women, we feel like we have to put on airs. We feel like in order to impress him, I have to be this type of woman. I have to act this type of way, and I have to, show him this or show him that. And I just had this conversation the other day with one of my walking partners. We was walking and we was talking about how when you show up not being who you are, you really dim the woman that you're supposed to be, because you're not being authentic. You're hiding who you really are. This is who I am. This is who I am. And I feel like people respect you more in any relationship, not only in an intimate relationship, but in any relationship, when you show up as your most authentic self and not making no apologies about it. I'm not going to apologize for being Andrena. I don't have to. This is Andrena. I know who she is. I know where she's going. I know where she came from, and I know what she wants.
Yes. So listen. So that reminds me, I got to call her back on another podcast episode, because when you said that, I believe, y'all, this is my humble opinion, and we'll talk about this on another episode. But because we sometimes show up as our fake self, we give a facade, we send a representative, men are doing all kinds of stuff because they getting the wrong person. They don't even know our real expectations. They don't know our real hopes. They don't know our real dreams. They don't know that we really want to say, I know you think it's all about sex, but really I just want to be intimate. I just want to be held. So I'm going to give you the sex so that I can be held. But that's a whole other topic. Like, if we would just be honest and truthful about who we are and what it is that we want, then I believe we would command more successful relationships. Just being transparent, just not waiting. There's some women who say, and this is comical to me. So we can dialogue about it. You call me, let me know if you disagree. But there are some women who say, I don't want a man. I'm good if he could just come and do the do and leave. I'm good. Not so, because we are created. We are designed to be nurturers. We are designed to be helpmeets. So that's a lie. But we start off telling the guy, yep, you just want to do that, I can do that too. And then after 6 months, we're looking around like, wait, we still just doing that? I want to be a wife. No, bruh, you agreed you co-signed on intimacy or sex, physical contact without a relationship. Why not be more authentic? Why not say, listen, I'm 44 years old. That's me giving y'all my age. I'm 44, and my goal is to be married. And if that's not where you're going, we can go ahead and start right now, right? Because that's how you get the results that you desire. I'll time out for trying to play your game, bro. This is when you love yourself, when you spend that time, ladies, if you're on that journey, or if this is going to encourage you to get on that journey. It's a beautiful, wonderful, amazing space where you are able to be sincerely unapologetic. where you sincerely answer your phone when you want to, where you sincerely go out with people when you want to, when you lay around and lay in the bed all day on Saturday because you want to. It's an amazing space. So I challenge you guys to go towards that space. And just like Andrena said, show up authentically. This is me. Take it or leave it. On to the next one. You know what I mean? Another bus coming. Every 15 minutes, another bus coming. One of the great rapper philosophers said that. Another 15 minutes, another bus coming. So I'm not going to get stuck here at this bus stop with you. Deuces. So anyway, had to do a little fun there. So, okay, great. So that's the best relationship advice. That's good. All right, so we are coming to a close, you guys. I am excited. Like I told you, I knew she would bring it. But before we go, we are going to ask a few more questions because I just want to make sure that whatever Andrena has on her heart, she's able to get that out. So, Andrena, are there any last words for anybody who's listening to this broadcast who may feel like they're not in or may feel like God has forsaken them and they'll never find a mate, or is on a journey to become? What words would you like to leave with this audience?
I would encourage the women to do the work, not worry so much about God forsaking you, if you want to go religion, because we all know at the end of the day that God has not forsaken us because he created us for a purpose that is greater than any of us could ever imagine, and everything always shows up in due time. But it's just like when you plant a flower, there's a planting time, there's a pruning time, and there's a process time, and then there's a blooming time. And that's how it is when you're going through this life journey of doing the work. You got to do the internal work first in order for it to flow on the external. You can't walk around here saying, oh, God, forsake me, or I've been manifesting this and manifesting that, and I haven't seen it come to pass, and so it's not going to be so. You can't go from the first grade to the 12th grade as a 10-year-old. There's a process. Everything takes a process. Everything is a process. Everything is a process. And if you really are desiring to have the things that you want in life, you're going to put in the necessary work. And when you put in the necessary work and actually do the work, what you've been asking for is going to show up in your life when you least expect it. And let me say this, because, don't get it twisted, because I've been through life ups and downs, roller coasters and everything, and I went through that phase. Oh, Lord forgave me and forsake me and did this and did that, and Shaquita and them. You know how you see them ghetto girls, they always seem to always have a man in their pocket. And you over here saying, look, Lord, I go to church Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday, sometimes twice on Sunday, and you ain't sent me no Boaz yet. I'm like Ruth in the field trying to work, and you still ain't sent them, and so you kind of get frustrated through the process, but you have to really get honest with yourself. And that's one thing that I learned on my journey, that you have to really get honest with yourself. If the man of your dream or your husband showed up to the door, are you really ready? Because sometimes we women come up with this long list, but we're not ready. We're not prepared. And that's not fair on him. And so when I say do the work, that means that you get in your lane and you start preparing. You start, the process. You allow the pruning season to come and then watch your promise come. Because I'm not one to broadcast my relationship. You know that about me, Ms. Shandi. Most of the time when you see me, you don't see me in, I'm not one to be posting, because I think some things need to be private. But I can tell you women this, when I got serious about living my life and I made the conscious choice to come out of the trenches, and when I mean the trenches, that means the low self-esteem. That means the woe it's me, the pity party. I decided one day that I know how it feels to be at the bottom. Let me see how it feels to be at the top. And when I began to do the work, the internal work, I became so happy with me that when he did show up, I was like, okay, then he coming to interrupt my show, because I had got so comfortable loving me and enjoying life and doing the things that I want to do, that now he wants to come and he wants to join the party, which I don't mind, because he's the man that I love. He's the love of my life. But I did the work in order to get to this place. And you know what? Let me leave you ladies with something too. While you are getting prepared, trust and believe me, the man that is waiting for you is getting prepared too. So when y'all do meet, y'all are not incomplete, y'all are complete together.
Yes.
And so that's what I would encourage the women to do, the work. Get to know you. Love the little girl that's in you and unbecome, so that you can become the woman that you desire, and allow him to show up once you're complete. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the process. Get to know who you are. To become something of substance, to become something of value, you got to know your worth. You have to know your worth. And it just gets to a place in your life as a woman, you have to decide that I'm worth more than what I've been getting. I want to see what's on this other side. And I promise you, if you do the work, whatever you've been asking for in a mate, in a spouse, it's going to show up, because you attract to you who you are. And if you're attracting what you don't want now, then you have to look at yourself and say, this is not what I want. Because at the end of the day, like you said earlier, the Murphy Law, you attract who you are. And if you don't like what you see, you got to do some work. You got to do the work. There's no going around it. There's no going around it, especially when you want greater.
Yes. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm so excited. This has been good. That makes me smile. You know, ladies, I am convinced that there is something from this conversation that you will be able to take and implement and continue. So I won't say start, but continue to live your best life. You know, again, we're all growing. We're all learning. We're all evolving. And so it is a pleasure to be able to bring to you some of the most amazing ladies that I know, and helping us focus on ourselves. And sometimes we forget. Right? You know, this is a journey for me. I know it's not a destination. It is a journey. And some days I forget to take care of her. But it is these conversations with people like, you know, with some of my other friends, that I remember to continue on that journey, that I'm reminded that you need to take some time for self-care. So, ladies, I know when this airs, we are not quite at Valentine's Day yet, but I'm going to challenge you to do something today that is self-care or practice self-love. So that means writing the affirmation that I alluded to earlier. You know, I am beautiful. Say it 10 times in the mirror. You know, saying I deserve the love that I desire 10 times in the mirror. You know, and start to speak that thing into existence today. You know, and then for those who like those, just like Andrena said earlier, flowers and stuff, if you like that, send them to yourself. I have roses in my house right now. I almost always have live flowers in my house. Why? Because I love them. And I'm not going to set that expectation, wait for my man to do that for me. Does he give me flowers? Yes. Am I going to wait for him to do it? Nope. The expectation, he knows when he comes in, there's some flowers. Oh, she bought them already. So the next time he has to beat me to it. That's what you do. When they see you loving yourself, and they see the standard that you have given yourself on your own life, a real man, the man who loves you, the man who's destined for you, the man who God preordained for you, your Adam, your Boaz, he's going to step up. He don't have a choice. And so you focus, if you can, shift your focus to you, things that you desire, your dreams, your hopes, things you've put on the back burner for him because you were waiting. And let me tell y'all, I know it's happening. He's saying, I'll be over there later, and you waiting. You ain't getting online. You're not working your business. You're just waiting for him to come. Something comes up, and he tells you, I'll be there tomorrow, and you wasted time. You're still waiting on him, and you're waiting on him to grow up, and you're waiting on him to choose you. I say today you choose you, and then let him catch up. All right? This is awesome. This has been amazing, just as I thought it would be. You guys will probably hear from her again, and so I would be remiss if I didn't share with you her and her platforms and where you can find her, just in case this is what you're like, oh, yeah, I need her in my life. I need her coaching me. Andrena, tell us where we can find you.
Okay, so you can find me on all social media platforms. Instagram and IG is Keep Moving without the G with Andrena, Andrena. On Twitter, I'm Andrena K Movement, and you can also request me as a friend on Facebook. My last name is Phillips, Andrena Phillips, and I will be glad to be cheering you ladies on, laughing along the way as we build each other up, and have this amazing, amazing life. I'm just excited. I'm really, really excited with what 2019 is going to bring this year to all the women that are going to make that conscious choice to say, you know what, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to do right. That means setting boundaries, loving you, and laughing yourself along the way.
Yes. Speaking of laughter, so you have to share with us your book. So wait, we can't skip that. So share with us your book title and where we can find it.
Oh, thank you so much, Mashandi. I do appreciate that. My book is called Behind the Laughter, I Don't Play All the Time, and it's on Amazon. And the reason why I named it that way is because everybody always see me as this woman that loves to have a good time in life. I'm always laughing. Laughing is one thing that I do love to do. I'm a very funny person, and it does come natural to me. But I wanted people to understand behind my laughter, there was some pain that came along the way. And then I was a woman that been through some things because, Mashandi, some people may think that, oh, you don't understand, Mashandi, or you don't understand, Andrena, what I've been through. But, yes, we do understand. We understand more than you know that we understand. That's the reason why we're able to drive this lane and be able to pull the women up, because we once was those broken women, but we did the work to get where we're supposed to get to. So, Behind the Laughter, I Don't Play All the Time is my way of getting you all, showing people the foundation of who Andrena is, where I came from, and how I came out of an abusive relationship, a mental relationship, and how I made a decision to do me and to learn me and to, most of all, and do the work so that I can become the woman that you all see now. And don't get me wrong, because we never stop growing. Even in your journey, never stop growing. Never stop becoming a greater version of you. Never, ever, ever, whether you're in a relationship or not, still have your own individuality. Still love her as you continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. So, yes, Behind the Laughter, I Don't Play All the Time is really a good read. I can't say so myself, and you'll be amazed at some of the things that I've been through. And you know that favorite line that they say, you don't never look like what you've been through? I definitely don't look like what I've been through.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You guys, listen, go to social media right now and check her out. I met Andrena in 2016, so it's been 3 years that she's been my friend. And when I met her, she wasn't where she is now. So I've actually watched the evolution. So I knew that she was going to bring it because she had still the same energy, but there's something different. So you can tell that she's becoming, and I think it's amazing. So I am so happy that I could share her with you. All right. So I'm going to ask her one last thing, and then we'll wrap up. All right. So Andrena, I'm going to give a statement, and I want you to finish the statement.
Okay.
What is love to you? Love is
unconditional.
Ooh. I heard woman sees love is unconditional. All right, guys, you heard it here. I am so excited that I was able to bring to you our favorite Andrena. You guys follow her on social media at Keep Moving with Andrena on all social media platforms. And if you are looking for a coach that's going to give it to you, 1, 2, 3, straight shooter, not a lot of love, but going to give it to you, she is the person for you. I'm excited that I can share my friend, Master Coach Andrena, with you guys. All right. Again, make sure you practice on self-love and self-care and love. Be careful. Be mindful. Make a decision to love on you. All right? You guys, you know how I always end it. Beloved, I wish above all things that you would be in good health and prosper, even as your soul prospers. Have an amazing day.